Hi, and welcome to the podcast where devotion meets the beast. I'm Teresa,
And I'm Mel.
and we're really excited to have you all here and listening or watching. We're wanting to sort of come into your lives through the medium of our podcast to share some of life's journeys, stresses, emotional complications, and broken hearts, victories, abandonment, grief, loss. There's so many heartfelt experiences in life where Mel and I, really believe that in our personal story, we do devote time to the beast of some of these life experiences, what we have come to know as shadow, sometimes shadow work. And we've just realized that the two of us need to collaborate with our separate journeys and bring a bit of alchemical magic to hopefully your lives and certainly to our lives as we connect with each other.
Beautiful. I knew you should take the lead on that. Amen. We can stop now. Yeah, I guess just a bit about what we're going to do. So we are just going to run these podcasts sort of intuitively. Teresa is a oracle goddess and is going to pick a card for us. And then, yeah, based on that guidance, what usually happens is we go off on some sort of tangent because we can both generally relate in our lives with the card in some way.
Yeah, I also want to add to that I think it's important to name, like I'm 61. Mel is 30,
One,
and
31.
31. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So we've got 30 years between us, but I think what's so beautiful is that as soul sisters, you can have that connection to another person, 3 decades, difference. And, you're in, full menstrual cycle land. I'm in
Mm-hmm.
full menopause land. And it only feels like yesterday when I was in maiden era.
Mm.
And I just love that Mel has a wisdom that calls to me in the twice our age gap difference, and aligning with different generations of listeners, those that will get wisdom from me and those will get wisdom from you, Mel, in the actual age bracket that we sit. But having said that, as a 61-year-old to your 31-year-old self, I too gather from your wisdom. Like it doesn't stop. I think as an elder within the age group of our little community and partnership, I'm still learning from you and your youthfulness and your spirit. And it's wisdom can sit in the seat of a 31-year-old and a 61-year-old.
Yeah, I feel like that's the most beautiful part though, is like, regardless of the age bracket and the age difference, if you have similar values and you're devoted to growth and learning and healing and transformation, I just feel like everything that we go through, although it feels like it's on a different level in some way, it always interconnects. And I just think that
Mm,
that's amazing because, there's things that you're experiencing now which I haven't experienced, but in some way that connects to my life and is a lesson for me. And
yeah.
I think it just shows that it doesn't actually matter how old you are, that if you are devoted to growth, you can find connected beings in whatever season of life that they're in. And I
Mm,
feel so grateful that I found you.
well, thank you. And vice versa. Which kind of brings me, like, we to talk a bit about ourselves actually. Like, I am an experienced psychotherapist of, oh gosh, 35 years now. And your work is, are you in corporate? What would you say?
Yeah, corporate or small business, but very much in the office based kind of corporate land, I suppose.
Because you've always pursued alternative medicine, wisdom,
Yeah,
spiritual journey, self help journey.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's though because of what I do. Like, I know that my soul has always desired more and has desired connection to self, connection to healing and other beings. But my work that I've fallen into has never allowed me to align with that energy. So outside of work, I'm constantly, looking at modalities, and obviously spent, 5 years in therapy, and it kind of calls me, because I am in that work of just like process and systems and thinking and the doing, it's actually calls me toward the being and the softness and the healing outside of work. So yeah, mine is more personal experience based thus far, although I hope to change that soon. Whereas, yeah, you've been able to embody yours in your work for the past 35 years, which is just incredible.
But that is a really good point that I didn't, I love that you said your soul just desired more, you know,
Mm.
long ago. And my soul desired more even more decades ago. And just that, I mean, I remember in my early 20s, where I lived, I remember entering one like this fantastic bookstore. And it was my first experience of like a bookstore that had new age, self help,
Mm.
like just the most incredible options of books to read that I hadn't come across before. And like that was when my heart cracked open. It's like when it really cracked open and I could access authors and ideas and styles and narrative and conversation about being more than who we are or what we think we
Mm.
are. And
Mm-hmm.
so that cracking open, I'm sure to our listeners can identify with that.
Mm.
That you can be in a role that's not. I mean, I did. Yes, that led to me being in psychotherapy several years later. But you can be in whatever occupation you were in. I can't even remember what my occupation was when I came across that bookstore. But it would have been some nuff job, I don't know. But it
Like
just kind
mine.
of like enough. But it was just like, to just remember having, I guess that spiritual intervention where I got to crack open this beautiful mystery and did start my the beginning of some devotion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that isn't in a wasn't inside a religious context because I grew up Catholic, so I had some sense of devotion to God, Catholicism, although I was not overly comfortable with that. And I got to know that, wow, yeah, it cracked open this idea. There are so many other ways of looking at myself and the world.
Mm. Yeah, that's
What
so
was your
beautiful.
moment? Did you have a moment? Did you have a book? Did you have
I
um,
had a therapist.
but even before then, the girl in you,
Yeah.
it happened.
I think for me, honestly, I always had this feeling in my stomach, in the pit of my stomach, that was just like there's something more. Something is missing, like something is untouched. Like there was always a feeling of that. And I feel like I tried to chase satisfaction of that feeling for a long time in a lot of different avenues.
Mm.
I actually couldn't even put my finger on what it was that I'm gonna have a think about this and come back to you in another episode about what
Mm.
actually landed for me in terms of like my spirituality. But I think for me it was through trauma. For me, it was almost like my awakening happened through pain, and that was what catapulted me into knowing that okay, this is where the beauty is going to lie. It doesn't feel good right now, but that's what I felt like for me. Started my curiosity, I'll call it, which yeah, then led me to you, and the rest is history.
That's a really great naming that you felt. Like how many people feel a gnawing sensation in some part of their body or the pit of your stomach, like you said. and also it's kind of almost like a voice. There's got to be more. There's got to be more, or the whisper that there is more.
There is.
And is that intuition, or is that I mean, I think we, of course, into I think it's separate to intuition. This is just I can make up my own hypotheses here. But it's kind of like I sort of feel like that voice, or that, I loved it when you, what did you say? I actually wrote it down there, but there was literally a feeling in your stomach that there was something more. That was your sentence. And it's like, wow, it wasn't in your heart, it wasn't in your head. It was in it's sort of like that also can be the area where anxiety resides. But it's like, wow, that's you, something was pulling, tugging at you either way. And, I think it's kind of like the early awakening. I don't know, what age were you when you, can you recall even this?
Yeah, mine was a bit probably later. Mine would have been around 18, I would say. Like
Mhm.
after I was very caught up in the high school shit, the high school drama, the boyfriends, the cheating, the like it was funny because my high school time, like people sometimes talk about school and like I miss being at school, and I'm like I couldn't think of anything worse than being back in high school because for me it was horrible. Like I think because I was ignoring that feeling and I was throwing myself into other things and trying to find that satisfaction from other things, all of this stuff was just being thrown in my face. And I think that's what, was trying, the universe was trying to show me that I need to stop looking external and look within. But it wasn't until I was 18, I was finishing up school, that I think that sort of started. Actually, now that I think about it, like my dad left when I was 18, and I also started studying psychology. I did study psychology for a year. So that probably was the shift where like the pain started, and I started learning about like how you can be impacted by those things, and so that was probably the catalyst. But I think it's funny you talked about the pit of your stomach and how like for a lot of people that's anxiety. But through some of the study that I've done in human design, the feeling that to move forward, I get it in my gut. The feeling is sacral. So that was actually trying to talk to me. And for some other people and some other human design, they may not feel that at all. But now that I've studied that and I understand that like thing that people say, like listen to your gut, that isn't actually for everyone, but it is for people like me. I'm a manifesting generator. And for a manifesting generator, you listen to your gut when you have a decision to make because that is the leading edge. And so that's what I think was trying to talk to me that entire time.
Wow. So that brings me also to, that's a great line you also said about, it was actually also through trauma and pain. So, your dad left at you're 18, and that's a terrible loss and family breakup, and it is a trauma. And so, yeah, obviously, a lot of us seek out a bit more. Well, not all of us. Some of us, and that's what we're here for. We're here for the crowd of people that have gone through a loss, trauma, going through emotional pain. There is a way to, which we see, that is, remember the beast. I don't want to face it. I can't manage it, or it's bigger than me. It is overwhelming, and just coming to sort of those, learning more techniques, which we'll talk about. I mean, I love what you just said about your human design, and
Yeah.
that the way that we've both learned different techniques and rituals to walk the walk and be devoted with in challenging some of our beliefs to get to the other side, which is more peace.
The beauty.
And you're not that 18-year-old girl, or obviously was on a journey of a lot of emotional pain and family stories. But you also reminded me, this is what I just went, oh yeah, the different generations. Like, man, I've had a married, not now married, mother of three children, empty nester now. I mean, but as soon as you said high school and boyfriends cheating drama, like a sitcom or something, like a TV show or something. And I was just like, oh my God, high school. I mean, primary school, high school, really, really put, especially in this generation with social media and modern day phones and Facebook and all that. It's like, the I'm really excited that you'll give voice to some of that. That's more fresh for you, and you're actually in the era of that kind of medium that put more pressure on teenagers that I didn't have. I had a different pressures, but not added to by social media and that kind of thing. So that also excites me too. That because that's a really tough time, secondary school, trying to find your way, trying to, low self-esteem, having boyfriends that aren't necessarily good boyfriends and they're cheating, or girlfriends that are cheating, or whoever's doing the cheating. And we're not equipped. We're not equipped. And most of us from our parents have not got the equipment to have a good self-esteem, navigate those issues going through high school, and then we flop into our 20s just as inexperienced, as traumatized, and attracting the same kind of shit. So it's interesting you named that, because it is fresh for you, fresher for you than me.
Yeah, it is.
Mm.
I still try to suppress that out of my memory, but I realize I'm going to have to bring a lot more up now that we're running a podcast.
Yeah, I know.
God damn.
So, but there may be someone who's in high school or just out of who's listening, and they'll get some as well.
Well, yeah, speaking of that though, I know we said we were going to pull a card like 20 minutes
Yeah,
ago.
so let's pull a card.
But I do want to say something while we're on that. And I'll probably speak to this more like in the coming episodes, but it's funny that we landed on the topic of like, high school and all those sorts of things, because right now, as you know, I feel like I'm in a real like liminal phase of my life where everything has been unraveling, and it's not just like I'm trying to find a new job or move into a new industry. It's my industry and my work is shifting. I've just let go of a relationship that was sitting in my heart for a long time, and my friendships are all changing at the moment, which is scaring the shit out of me. And I'm wanting to start a business and like start a new direction, and then it's like that's the external of the liminal phase, but then the internal is like, now I'm setting boundaries and I'm speaking my truth and I'm standing up for myself and doing all of these incredible things. And what's been happening whilst I've been in this phase, and you'll love this, is that like my dreams have been rewriting my subconscious through this phase, whereby I'm dreaming of high school, like things that happened to me in high school, like actual things that happened to me, the cheating, the same woman that slept with my partner at the time is in my dream, and that had happened, except we are rekindling, and we are there's calmness, and there's I'm showing up differently, and I'm speaking about it in a way that's not like angry, and so like it's that. There's the social events, there's a lot in my dreams that are like I'm literally rewriting. Like with my parents, there was dreams about my parents where I'm yelling at them and saying, you did not do such thing for me. And I'm literally like waking up in like this sense of just like acceptance that that's not how I have to be anymore. Like it's actually okay for me to move past all of that now. Like I've done so much work on it the last 5 years, and there's things that I can now start letting go of because my subconscious is quite literally rewriting my response to them, which I just find fascinating.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Okay, will I draw a card then?
Yes, please do.
So I'm going to draw a card from Journey of Love, and you can see that I think pretty well. Elena Fairchild and others. And this is my go-to pack. I sort of like put it to my heart and ask questions, or just sit with not even a question. Sometimes I just sit in the feeling of where I'm at, and then I shuffle and I just pull a card. A lot of people often do like three, and you can. That's how they're designed. But I just tend to just do one because I can get overwhelmed with messages. So I'm part of you and I right now. Oh my God, Mel.
Have you done it again? Oh, this is going to be interesting though, because when you read out the thing, I'm going to be thinking about me as well. Because when you read it, so for everyone listening, Teresa has just pulled the same card that she pulled for herself about something that she's been experiencing the past year. And she's just pulled the exact same card again. But when you read it to me before, I was thinking about you, obviously, and your experience. But now I feel like maybe there's a message in there for me as well.
But I actually feel like it's, and there is, but I feel like, oh my God, this is the audience.
Yeah.
Like this is what I hope everyone listening hears the invitation to what I'm about to read. So it's card 65 and it's called The Breaking. And it starts with, you are breaking apart. You might not understand it at all. There is not so much to be understood, but the simplicity doesn't mean it is easy to endure. You may worry that you are going too far, that you may never recover or even come back together again. But what can you do? Can you hold back from the divine love that calls you, that lures you to becoming all that you are, to remembering your divine nature? Well, you could try, but for what purpose? Temporary rest before the storm at best. So take the rest if you need it, then dive into the storm. Let yourself be broken hearted by the divine so that you can become your truth, become all that you are meant to be. It is better to have the heart broken so that it grows than to be broken hearted by thinking that you must protect yourself from love. This oracle brings compassionate guidance that no matter what sadness or anger, despair, or frustration you may be feeling, you are being pulled apart, but not by dark forces, but by the loving embrace of the divine, as it strips you of that which would keep you from your divine realization. So let go and break. It is going to be the making of you. And just underneath this is a beautiful poem, and it just is titled Love. And love is a special closeness that sings from the heart, that warms my days and nights, that feels good, that makes me smile, that makes me glad to be alive. Wow. It's so, so beautiful. And I think that's the coming to our word devotion is the breaking open and devoting to the emotions that were briefly named there, or whatever anyone's emotions are right now, or obviously yours, Mel. And that what we're so afraid of, it's in the breaking down that is also can be the making of us, but never be in a hurry, just slow and really, to me, what I hope we always cycle around in our chats is love, like healthy, hearty love of self, and certainly romantic love and motherly love, fatherly love. But it just really, I hope that where devotion meets the beast brings you into a conversation where love is part of that devotion, is the spirit behind the devotion. So, yeah. How are you? How is it for you, Mel?
Yeah, no, you spoke beautifully to that.
Mm.
I just can't believe that that came out again. I'm still.
Oh no, we're supposed to why Ari calls and we go, of course it was going to be that way. Because spirit is talking through us with the card. We have to start looking normal.
No, for sure. I do think, and I was speaking to you about this earlier, like, you know, we're recording this on the 1st of March. We've just gotten through, the end of the wood snake, the start of the fire horse year. Yeah, we talked a bit about the fire horse. People have been thinking this is like, go, go, go energy, just move towards your goals no matter what, like tunnel vision. But what it really is, and my Qigong teacher explained it this way in a beautiful woman's circle the other weekend. She said the fire horse is actually a free wild horse in a paddock, and that wild horse is just galloping, sure, but freely toward what feels good, what feels like love, what feels like devotion, not just galloping towards any bloody thing that's moving. It's actually like, defined and aligned movement and momentum. And I do feel like the breaking is such a collective energy, because we came out of that wood snake, and the fire horse was such a shift that so many things had to be broken down and pulled apart to be able to step into this year with clarity, which you and we've discussed earlier. We both have found pieces of clarity in what we're experiencing, and I know that other people are feeling the same. So I feel like it's such a beautiful message to be sharing and sort of finishing this conversation with.
Yeah, yeah, it's just like, I mean, it's a springboard to say so much more,
Yeah.
but I think it's a beautiful way to wind it up too, and let our listeners, think on that and replay the words of the card. And I mean, I know last night when I pulled it out, I wrote in my journal. Actually, I wrote a lot of the information in the description of the card in my journal, and I'll go back and reflect on the words again and again, because it feels like it is a collective offering that in the human suffering, the breaking open, but with the devotion alongside it. And then it's not just, it's not just despair. It gives a crack. I mean, there is despair, but it's like, that quote from Rumi, sort of where the crack opens and the light shines in, and bringing in that extra intuitive, as you said, energy, knowing that we're here to help build on as the weeks go by. So thanks.
Yeah, so beautiful. I was just thinking we can probably share a picture of the card and the explanation on our Instagram as well, so that people, if this did resonate with anybody and they want to take it deeper, or like Teresa, journal a bit more on the meaning behind the card and these conversations, you'll be able to do that as well.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yay! We did it! First episode, and we kept it for 33 minutes, which is extremely surprising considering the first 20 minutes we went off on our little tangents. Just to wrap it up, I just wanted to say thank you to everybody who got this far in listening. We're both really excited to be starting this podcast. It feels really like there's a full soul recognition about being here, and I'm feeling so alive after this conversation. So yeah, if you want to follow us on Instagram, we are Where Devotion Meets the Beast, and also you can find us on Spotify, which is where these will be landing. If you have any questions or anything you'd specifically like us to talk about, we'd love to hear from you, so please contact us through Instagram, and we will see you next week.
Yay! Thanks, guys.